agree with one thing you said. You said, you know, it gets to a point that we just have to, each side has to give a little bit. I would have thought we'd already been at that line. I would have hoped that we had already met that line. Like I said, I think that this is a reasonable compromise to give DACA protection, TPS protection in exchange for border wall funding. I think it's, what is it, 100 miles of new wall that would be included or that would be paid for by this $5 billion. Remember, back in 2013, the Democrats voted to fund 700 miles of wall. So it's not that this is a foreign concept to them or something they haven't supported in the past, which, let me circle back to my question. What is the line for Democrats that they'd be willing to compromise, to accept something that they might not want in exchange for something, maybe paychecks for federal workers and DACA protections for things that they do want, and stop hurting the American people?
Well, I think the line would probably be the president not referring to anything that they concede to as a wall. Nancy Pelosi has staked her ground to say that there's, you remember the press conference, she said there's not going to be a wall. So anytime that language comes in, and unfortunately this is a language game, anytime that language comes in, that's what's stopping her, along with all the other things we just discussed. But that's one of the major reasons that I think. So if the president, that I think they're not going to reach an agreement anytime soon. I think if the president comes to her and says, let's just make it border protection, and I don't need a wall, she will feel as if she's got a victory, and then they can reach an agreement.
Right, but that's never going to happen.
But
realistically, that's never going to happen. Well, let me ask you this. We're almost out of time. If the president says, listen, I promised my people, I promised the people who voted for me that I would build a wall and secure our border. I can't go back on that promise. I am going to keep the government shut down and not sign these bills until you agree for funding for the border wall. And he does keep the government closed down indefinitely because of that. At what point do you think, as a Democratic voter and Democratic voters in general, think Nancy Pelosi should go ahead and compromise or cave?
I think it's going to take a turn in public opinion. And once she sees that turn in public opinion, and then the base starts feeling, well, not even the base, because the hardcore base is not going to change. But, you know, some of her constituency starts thinking it's time for us to go ahead and reach a deal. When it gets to that point, then I think we'll change. But as far as where we're at right now, I just don't see it happening anytime soon, Liz.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.